Okay, ladies, we're going to go ahead and get started. Sam, if you can please click record. Awesome. So we're going to be doing a social media training call. I am Nella. Jaylee, if you want to introduce yourself. I've been in the business now for almost 2 years. I am MMM, Managing Market Mentor. And yeah.
I am Jaylee Flood. I have been in the business since December, and I am MMB. So I just hit that rank, and it's super exciting. And I am also, without this business, like I just have thrown myself into studying social media and teaching about it. So I'm super excited to partner with Nella and help you guys.
Awesome. I love it. Let's get started. We have an awesome PowerPoint for you guys, visuals, do's and don'ts. So stick to it until the end, and I hope you girls enjoy. Cool. So number one thing when we're talking about social media, right, is you have to know your branding, right? People join people, and it's very important that we don't get stuck in the mindset of, being a Monat only girl, because think about it. There's so many of us doing the same exact thing. So what you want to do is make sure that you are, standing out amongst the crowd of others. And you're going to do this in the way of finding your branding, right? So how do you do that? You need to make sure that you are targeting 5 things that make you you, okay? So it can be your relationship. Maybe you're planning a wedding. Maybe you're a mom and you have cute little kiddos running around. Maybe you're into fitness, or you're a teacher. You're really good at makeup, right? Or you travel, or you cook. Whatever it is that makes you you, you want to make sure that you're going to be sharing those things with the world, because that's what makes people want to continue going back and click on your story. Because let's say I have somebody on my team that is getting married this year. Okay, well, show us what you're planning. You know what I mean? Show us when you're going to your cake tasting, or maybe you're moving into a new house. Show us the things that you're renovating, because those are exciting things that people want to follow along in your journey. Okay, so I find that the more vulnerable that you are, the more that you become personal, and the more that you relate to other people, okay? So a lot of the times we're scared to allow ourselves to be open with others, but the reality of it is that we have to do that in order to let people into our lives and let people into our business, because that's where the trust is going to be connected. And that's going with VIPs and hair care and products, and as well as market partner content. If you want people to join your team, they have to be able to trust you, and that is going to form with you sharing your story, with you being vulnerable. Okay. You also want to know your audience and who you're targeting, okay? Which is why you should never be, stuck on what to post. Because if you know exactly who you are and what you have to bring to the table, what value do you bring to other people, then you should never be stuck on posting, because you're just sharing what you love every single day, throughout the day. Okay. So if you just, target at least five things that that you can, share with people on the daily basis, then you finding your brand is going to be, way easier for you to come across.
Yeah. And just to add to that, at the end of the day, people won't buy from you. They won't invest in your business. They won't buy your products if they don't trust you. So you should be using your social media to build your know, like, and trust. And the way you're going to do that is by consistently showing up on who your brand is and who you are. So just like she said, what makes you different? So Sam, for example, posts about being a mom. That is her niche. She loves to help moms in this business be home with their baby more. And I know a lot of us on her team are moms that want the same exact thing. So whatever your lifestyle is, whether you're somebody who's a 9-to-5 who is able to leave their job, have that be a part of your brand, because that's what people are going to connect with. Let's see. Perfect.
Cool. So up next, we wanted to put in some key apps that we like to use when creating content. So one of them being Unfold. Unfold is basically a template app where you can, you know, take some pictures, take some videos, put them into some cool templates, and the job is already done for you. Okay. You can also do you can also do fonts on there, and figure out, you know, what your style of, you know, content branding is. Splice is the app that I use to create my video content. I've been getting a lot of people asking me, you know, how do you do the voiceovers on your videos for IGTV? It is on Splice. You just you know, maneuver it around. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me a DM and I'll, you know, walk you through it. But it's pretty self-explanatory. You put in all your videos, all of your pictures. You can put in text. You can do voiceovers, all of that fun stuff. Okay. Teza is an app where you can pick up, you know, filters. So if you want to be working on your feed, or maybe you want to start putting filters on some videos, you know, just shoot it into Teza and pick the one that you like. And that's the place to do it. PicsArt is another good one. Obviously, Instagram, hello, the best platform to run this business. And SlowFast is if you want to, you know, edit a video, you know, in some parts be slower and some parts be faster. That's the app that I use. Jaylee, I don't know if you want to, you know, put in some different apps that you use as well.
The only other app that I use is InShot, and that's what I like to use to edit my videos, but I'm sure Splice is like super similar. And just to add to that, make sure your feed, you are using the same kind of preset. So whether you're on Teza and you're using one of her, I'm echoing. Do I sound good to you guys? Can I get a thumbs up, Noah? I sound fine. Okay, cool. Even if you're on Teza and you use one of those presets, use that same thing for each of your photos so that your feed is flowing. So that when somebody goes onto your feed, they are attracted to it and they want to follow you because they like your content and it looks consistent. But I just wanted to add that. And other than that, yeah, that's all the apps that I use as well.
Okay, cool. So here we added some what not to do when you're posting content and when you're on social media, right? You want to make sure that if you are, you know, writing something on your content, you want to make sure that people are able to read it. Okay. So the small fonts in the corner of your screen, guys, you have to remember that a lot of people on Instagram have short attention spans, right? And our fingers tend to be clicking very, very quickly. So our job is to catch their attention, right? So you want to make sure that your content is, you know, making people stop. So the little fonts at the bottom, most of the people aren't going to, you know, stop and squint their eyes to read it. Okay. So make sure that the writing is placed in what is the word? In a way that you can read it, whatever. Okay. So you want to also not use light colors against other light colors. So I see people all the time, they want to put a yellow background with white font. Okay, those colors don't match up to each other. So you want to make sure to keep your content clean and consistent. Don't put a lot of, you know, words all around. Again, keep it simple, keep it clean. The visuals is what works. And then you want to keep, you know, the wording to 5 words minimum. Okay. Also refrain from using noisy backgrounds. So a lot of backgrounds with, a lot of words, a lot of pictures, and then you're adding even more words on here. We have some visuals that I'm going to show you that's going to, you know, explain it better. Ladies, please, please, please don't screenshot an email that Monat sends us all and then put it on your story, okay? That email that they send us is just, picture it as information, right? And then you're going to take that information and you're going to put that into your own, you know, creativity. So use the apps that we just showed you, and create your own content, right? Because that's what's going to make you authentic and not come off as salesy. So think about it this way. Imagine if every single Monat girl screenshotted and posted a flash sale email as soon as it comes out on Friday. Everyone's feed would be the same email. So eventually people are going to, you know, skip it over and not even pay attention to it. So you don't want to be that girl, right? You don't want people skipping over your content. You want them to pause and be like, oh, that looks, you know, aesthetically pleasing, or that, you know, caught my attention. Let me read about, you know, what she has to offer. And it could be a flash sale, and it could be, you know, the basic same information that you took from that email, but now you made it yours. Okay. Jaylee, you want to add on?
Yeah, and just to add to that, so we were talking about branding, and one thing that I do for my Instagram that I think looks really good and it like flows really well is I use the same colors that all my highlights are in my stories. So anytime I caption any of my Instagram stories as I'm talking, those colors are the same thing that you're gonna see when you go on my feed. So it shows a lot of consistency. They're easy to read. When people see them, it's like brand recognition for me. And then this is the number one thing I tell my girls is that, because this is the number one mistake that a lot of people aren't doing, is captioning each of your Instagram story videos. Because you guys probably know, like, we're laying in bed at night, our husband's sleeping, and we're like clicking through videos. Like, we don't want to turn on the sound, or like she said, we have a short attention span. So make sure that you are captioning each of the videos with bullet points of what you're talking about, or something that catches their attention. If you're talking about a product and you forgot to mention some of the benefits, add some of the benefits with bullet points on that exact story.
Awesome. Okay, so here are some visuals of what we were just talking about. So on the left, you'll see the don't, noisy background, a lot of writing. That is not going to catch somebody's attention when, if you want to talk about the free Cadillacs, then post, your uplines that have the car. Tell a story of somebody that has a car, right? If you want to post about the free trips, the same thing, right? Post somebody that's been on a free trip, and realize that when you're telling a story, when you're showing people, that validation that somebody else that is getting these things, then that makes you more credible. Because we can all say, join my team, free car, free trip. That just looks spammy today to me, right? So too much wording, too much of noisy background. Then in the middle, you have a great picture of somebody's hair. But once again, the yellow background with the white font, nobody can read it. And it's all the way at the bottom of your screen where, if you're clicking through that, I'm not going to spend, my time, trying to figure out what you wrote at the bottom of there. And then, of course, what we just mentioned, the screenshot of a flash sale on the right. Just refrain from doing that. Maybe take some pictures. I know that our team is great at, giving us layouts and pictures of whatever product is in the flash sale that day. So you utilize those things and make it your own. Okay, and then here we have a couple other ones. So we didn't mention loud pricing. Okay, girls. Again, you don't want to be, salesy. You don't want to be that girl on Instagram that's just trying to, sell somebody something. It goes a long, long way when you explain what the product does. Again, tell the story, educate people, inspire people, instead of, skincare, $150, crossed out in red, today, 99. You also notice that they're using different fonts, different sizing. It just looks messy and it looks spammy. The one in the middle, everything about it is just no. I don't think I even have to explain it. But again, noisy backgrounds, crazy, too much wording. It just looks sporadic. So you want to make sure that, your content is flowing, it's telling a story, it looks clean. And that it relates to you and your personality.
Yeah, and think of your favorite brands that you guys connect to. Chanel, for example, their entire branding is white and black. They put a black simple logo on a white background. So simple sells. If somebody feels overstimulated or like it's hard to read or it's hard to understand, at the end of the day, they're not going to buy from you because they're going to get confused. They're not going to have clear branding. So the more simple you make it and clean that you make it, the prettier it's going to look, the more people are going to read it and connect with it. So we talked about the don'ts. Now let's talk about some of the do's. So just like we said, no loud pricing, but something that I use as inspo for one of my recent posts that Sam did is breaking down the actual sales. So for example, this weekend we had the buy the conditioner, get the shampoo for $12. So I went through and I screenshotted what it would cost for them to just get the shampoo and conditioner and how they would get one for free, and then what it would cost for them to get both of those as well as the leave-in and the dry shampoo. And a lot of people connected with that because number one, it's simple, it's clear to read, they see how much they're saving. And number two, it's not just a price that's being thrown at them. It's me giving them a visual of like, this is how much you get for this much. so they could really follow along the story. Another do is don't just post your before and afters. Take that photo, and all you have to do is go to your photos, click copy, and then paste it on your story and talk about your transformation. So I talked about my postpartum hair loss in the last week, and I got 12 VIPs from that one story alone, because I walked them through the journey and I walked them through what these products did for me and for my hairline, and how I never thought that I could restore it. And so don't just share your before and afters, add a story to it, add why you love these products, add what's so good about them. Another do, show the community, show what we're all about. So if you're on a Zoom call, like screenshot it, write a cute caption, write something inspirational, write a quote or how grateful you are for this community, and share that. Create that curiosity for people who aren't in the business yet. Here are some do's from Nella, if you want to explain what you were talking about in these.
Cool. And I also want to, point out something. In our content, yes, you see a lot of wording, but the wording is clear. The background is either, a solid color. We put it at a size where it's legible, right? So I am a filter girl. I will not go on my Instagram if there's not a filter, but I like to, if you don't know this yet, on your Instagram you can save filters that you like already, so they're accessible for you to just click, and they're upfront for you to use. Okay, so pick around, again, 1 to 5 filters that you love using, and stay consistent with that, because like Jaylee was saying, it starts becoming your own brand, and people are going to be like, oh, Nella's the one that uses the cloud filter, or Jaylee's the one that uses retro, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so yeah, I'm a queen of black and white. I like black and white. I like keeping it simple. I like keeping it classy. I might put a pop of color just to emphasize something. So on the left, this is when, we were talking about our March numbers and how many, market partners and new VIPs we were signing up. So I put the numbers in red, but again, it's clean. People can read it. And I always tell my girls, lead your content, that you want with the business, that you want people to see, at the beginning of the day, right? So if there's a flash sale that drops, don't wait until 4, 5, 6 p.m. when you already posted your entire day and then post a flash sale, right? You want to post in the morning and then continue posting throughout the day so more people see your views. But we're going to get into that a little bit later into this PowerPoint. But yeah.
I love that. And one thing I love about this story all the way to the left is that that's social proof. So you're not just saying that we're enrolling people, you're giving them the actual numbers of how many people are joining right now and how this business is an incredible opportunity. So I love that. Social proof is huge. So some of my people post when they get a VIP, again, not in a spammy way, they're blocking out their name, they write it cute, they brand it with Unfold, but it's just proving that like people are buying these, people love them, people consume them, posting reviews of your clients that you have and talking about that review, giving them the social proof that the products do work. And also in your story, not just talking about the products, but showing them exactly how you use them. So yeah, like she said, throw on that filter, do your skincare routine, make it fun, put some music to it. If you don't have something to say, add in the benefits, and people are gonna be taken through that story, and they're gonna get invested in learning about the business and the product.
And realize how the wording that we're using here, catches people's attention. So I put, look at the difference, right? And then people are like, oh, because that's all that their eyes are catching and seeing, right? Or the one on the right says, you want this. So now they're like, oh, she just told me I want this. What do I want? Oh, let me read. Oh, the benefits. Oh, Night Haven. Okay, cool, right? So you want to make sure that the wording that you're putting catches their attention quickly, easy to read. Boom. Now they're more invested into watching your story.
Yes, exactly. And so if you are like, I have no idea what to post, we just gave you so many examples, but these are specific types of stories that you guys should be posting every single day throughout the day. So you shouldn't be doing all face-to-face stories or all behind the scenes, right? We want to mix these. So I want to talk a little bit about these. So the first one is the most important. It's face-to-face. It's the one that a lot of you guys are most scared about, the one that a lot of us get nervous about, but it's the one that connects with our audience the most. It's the one that they can build their know, like, and trust for us. So every single day, talk to the camera. It doesn't have to be necessarily about the business or about the product. It can just be a behind the scenes of your life, or you talking about a quote or talking about a story. Never be afraid to tell your story over and over again of what this business has done for you, because you just got a new follower 2 hours ago and that person has no idea what you do or why you do it or how you do it or what it's done for you. So tell your story, talk to the camera. People are going to build their relatability through you talking to the camera. They're going to build that like for you. They're going to start to really connect with you. So if you do struggle with confidence, I challenge you guys all today to make a story talking to the camera. Put the caption on it, put some cute gifs so that people get kind of locked in, but put a filter on it if you're nervous. I'm like Nella, I like to put a filter. It makes me feel more confident to show up on my stories. So find a filter that makes you feel your most confident self and use that filter. Do what you got to do so that you can show up in your business. The second thing is something that involves your followers. So ask them their opinion, share your story and ask their thoughts. Ask for recommendations. So for example, 2 days ago, I talked about how I'm going to start getting back into working out and I've been slacking. And if anyone has any recommendations for a fitness person on Instagram or an app they use, I got hundreds of people giving me a recommendation, some people writing an entire paragraph about a specific person or a specific app they use.
No.
So get them involved.
No.
And someone needs to mute themselves, sorry.
Oh my gosh. Just it. Oh.
Okay, can you guys mute yourself if you're not muted? But get them involved. Make them feel important because you do value them. You do want to know their thoughts. And the more involved that you get your followers, the more they're invested in you and they don't even know it. So if they're answering your questions, if they're voting on your story, then they're going to see your content more. You're going to keep them on the app, which the app and the algorithm are going to favor your content. And it's just going to make them feel like you care about their opinion, which you do because they support you, right? The third one is a recommendation. So obviously we're recommending Monat products. Obviously we're talking about these products. We love them. We believe in them. But you can recommend other things. So you can recommend, literally, I recommend a self-tanner that I love to use. I recommend it all the time. Girls might follow me. They might not be in the business, but they might buy that self-tanner and love it too. And that just reinforces their trust for you. So you can recommend literally anything, a restaurant, a Starbucks drink, whatever it is that you love to do that's a part of your lifestyle, you can recommend to people, or a podcast even, because then if they listen to it, they're going to love it and they're going to trust you a lot more. The fourth one is behind the scenes content of your life. So I like to use my stories as like a daily mini vlog or like moments throughout my day and just show my life, showing my family, showing what I'm doing, showing just my real life. Right now we're all in quarantine. People feel so related to that alone. So showing like what I'm doing to keep busy. And then the fifth is what they came for. So business tips, whether it's business tips, inspiration, fitness, fashion, photography, all of the stuff that makes your brand and your brand pillars. Share that once a day, something that they came for. So I'm a photographer and maybe somebody doesn't follow me from this business, but maybe they follow me from photography. And if they are watching my content and I'm still posting things about photography, they're more likely to buy my Monat products or join the business as well. Okay, so I just want to give a visual example of how Sam does really good with this. So like we said, pick your 3 to 5 brand pillars. So I use Sam as an example. So her brand pillars from an outside perspective: family, Monat, fashion, fitness, beauty, and lifestyle. Everything that she does and everything that she recycles in her feed fits into one of those 5 brand pillars. She has so much brand awareness that when you go to her feed, you know what you're going to get. Or when you're looking for something specific, say you're looking for an outfit for one of the trips, you're going to go to her feed. Where does she shop? What does she like to use? Where does she buy from? So all her content here, you can see she's posting about her little cute baby. She's posting about her hubby. She's posting about what this business has done for her and the community that it has, the trips that she's on. She's posting her fitness lifestyle and how she likes to get out of the house and do fitness, her fashion, and then beauty. She's giving beauty tips. She's giving value in some way. So don't feel afraid to recycle the content that you do. So if you go out and take some selfies, you can use that same selfie like, a few weeks later. So you can definitely continue to recycle your content. Okay, we wanted to also talk about feed content examples. So the first one, like I said, you have to share your story. Inspire them, bring them through your transformation of this business, what it's done for you, what it's doing for you, and your lifestyle. So I have 3 really good examples. The first one is Kate. She's telling you her story about how she went to college, right? And a lot of girls can relate to that. They might have gone to college and they might have gotten out of college and not know what to do or feel lost. So people are being taken through her story and how this business has completely changed her life, and they're invested. They get to know her a lot more. Harmony, she's taking them through the story of how she just quit her job. And all this content is cute, right? They all have filters. It's not something cheesy. They took their time and they made this cute content, but it can be done from the comfort of your own home as well. The third one is me. It's about me I was on a photography trip and I was talking about something that I thought would inspire a lot of people, and how, I was a teen mom and all the odds were stacked against me, and how life isn't just about finding out who you are. It's about creating your dream life. So people can get invested in your story and they can get invested and inspired by your content. Also, I don't know if this highlight is showing up for you guys. I don't know what I did, but I can't get it off of there. The second one. So Nelly, you want to talk about these? This is just another feed content example of your lifestyle, what it's done for you and the lifestyle that you're able to live with this business.
Definitely. So I know that before Monat, at least for me, my captions were very, blah, right? Or I would look for a quote and just slap it on there. But like Jaylee was saying, you want to tell your story, right? Remember that people are stalkers. We're stalkers, right? So when you go to somebody's page, you're going to start going through their pictures. You're going to read their content. And the more that you're telling a story, the more that they feel like they know you. And it goes back to, again, they're building trust. You're building credibility. You're showing the community, right? You're showing you traveling. The picture on my left is me being grateful for getting my Cadillac and ranking to MMM, right? So again, you're telling your personal story throughout this business, and you're allowing people to be like, wow, look at where she started, okay? And look at how she got to where she is now, right? So yeah, again, go back to your branding, whatever it is that makes you you. Make sure that you're sharing that with other people. And again, if you're not really into, taking pictures or, putting yourself out there, start step by step. Find an accountability buddy that you feel comfortable with on your team and be like, hey, do you want to go out and take some content pictures? You want to, get cute and, do this together, right? And again, find people that inspire you on Instagram, right? Someone that's, at a higher level than you, or someone that you look up to, and then take that as inspo and make it yours.
I love that. And at the end of the day, we should be using our captions to inform, inspire, educate, or entertain. I'll say it one more time. Inform, inspire, educate, or entertain. So our captions and what we're posting is going to fit into those categories, but those 4 things give your audience value. So when they are reading, they're actually getting inspired or they're learning something from you. One thing that I like to do is I like to write out my caption in my notes and then take the most important thing or the most shocking thing and put it in the first sentence. So think about it like when you're on YouTube and you click that thumbnail because you're like, ooh, what are they talking about? Like, what happens in this video? You want to create that first sentence as if it's like a YouTube thumbnail. It's something that catches their eye, that makes them stop and read your entire caption. And if you don't have your caddy yet and you're not at that moment, share, again, don't fake it, you guys. Share your story. Maybe you paid off some credit card debt. Maybe you were able to work less hours at your normal job. Maybe you got furloughed or laid off right now and you're able to completely throw yourself into this business so many people are going to connect with your story more than somebody else's that you're talking about. So talk about what it's doing for your specific story. So I'm a wedding photographer. I'm in the service industry primarily. I talked about recently how all my weddings are at a halt for the next 3 to 4 months, and how grateful I am to have this passive income and to have this income that, you know, I can work remotely and I can have this incredible girl gang, and I can feel part of this community, and how I'm so grateful I have this business and not just photography. So share your unique story and what this has done for you, whatever that is. The third one is, like we said, entertainment. So be yourself. Showcase your unique personality. At the end of the day, branding is all about who you are. It's your unique voice, your unique stories, your unique visuals. So the more you can be yourself, the more your content is going to be so successful and people are going to connect with it. So figure out what makes you different, like we talked about, and figure out what things you're passionate about and showcase those. Be fun with it, get creative, and give them value. You know, I show some examples here of IGTVs that Sam posted in her feed. One of them's a little TikTok that we did, and it was just so fun. It showcased so much community and just us having fun with this business. The next one is a beachy waves tutorial. So you're giving them value. You're showing them how to do their skin or what your routine is, or 5 skincare tips. Maybe you do like an IGTV series where every week you talk about your #1 skincare tip, right? And every single week you get on there and you talk about a tip. Or maybe you talk about the uses of Rejuvenique oil. You go on there and you talk about that on your IGTV. But I do want to also add that your feed should not, somebody shouldn't go on your feed and feel like it's the website of Monique, right? They should just feel attracted to you as a person and your brand. And like I said, if it's just products or you're just showcasing that part of your personality, you're losing out on so many other people that could potentially connect with you a year or two down the road for this business or for the products. So make sure your feed is you, that if somebody were to land on it, they might not even know you do this business necessarily unless they do some digging.
Okay, cool. I just want to quickly put in, because somebody just asked me, how do you get, you know, your Instagram feed caption to break up? Because a lot of the times you do want to tell a story, but you want it to look clean as well. Go Google IG caption line break. And then you just copy and paste. You copy it from your notes, you paste it into there, it converts it from you for you, and then you can just paste it back into your Instagram caption, if that makes any sense. But anyways, I want to talk about the flow of content, right? So your content needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And this is so important, right? So the beginning, you have to have a clear purpose and intention of what you want to post. What is it that you want to know, bring to the table and share with other people, right? What are you trying to portray? What are you trying to tell others? The first slide of your story, of your content, it needs to catch that person's attention. It needs to make them stop, because if not, your middle and your end go out the door, right? So the beginning is super important. Then you have the middle, right? What are you trying to inspire people with? What are you trying to, bring value with, okay? This is where the storytelling comes into play, okay? Share what you want to say, make it quick, make it understandable, keep it clean. And then the end. This is where I see a lot of people missing out, is on the end of their flow. They forget, what a call of action is. So you're either posting about, products, or you're posting about, joining the team, or whatever the case may be, market partner content. And then, up next is the next person's story. Well, guess what? You just lost that person's attention. You had it for the beginning, you had it for the middle. Well, now you want to what? Have them call action towards you. So click on the next page, and I'm going to talk about what exactly is call of action and why is it so important, okay? You need to make sure that you're triggering people to reach out. And how do you do this? You want to say, message me, swipe up, inbox, and my inbox is open, DM me, or take the quiz that's in my bio. You want to make sure that you're leading them to an action to make sure that they're reaching out to you, right? Because you could have had them, so intrigued, so intrigued, so intrigued. I followed Sam for years, okay? And she was posting about Monet and posting about Monet and posting about Monet, right? So always know that, somebody's watching, but they need that validation for you to tell them, hey, reach out to me. Hey, message me. Okay. My inbox is open. I'm here. Come. My door is open, right? If you don't do that, then they're watching your content. They're like, oh, this is great. This is great. But they don't really know, guys, make it dummy proof, right? Because a lot of people still, you can be posting, about the hair products for years. Okay. And they still don't know that they can come, reach out to you to buy them, right? Okay, so you want to make sure that you're making that very clear at the end of your story, or your content of what you're trying to portray, to make sure that people are reaching out to you.
Yeah, and just to add to that, you really do have to make it dummy proof, like she said, because there's times where I'm like, DM me, like shoot me a DM, like I'll match you for products, right? And people will message me and be like, do you have the link to these products? Or they don't even know that like I'm with the business and I can help them actually specifically. So making it as simple as possible. Like we said, simplicity sells. Make it simple for them. Give them one clear call to action. So don't be like, swipe up and take the quiz and DM me, right? Like just give them one clear thing to do that works for you. So if you don't have that swipe up feature, do one of the other things. Sales go down in the DMs, right? So when you get somebody in your DMs, even if it's for something random that they replied to your story, you can take them on a journey and eventually match them for hair, compliment their hair. Hey girl, your hair is gorgeous, by the way. What are you using? So you can really take that conversation further by giving them a call to action, by getting them in your DMs and getting their contact information.
And then we have interactions, as we've been talking about in this call, but I just wanted to quickly put in, what exactly are interactions? Again, we're making this very clear for you guys. Polls, questions, quizzes, sliding features. Get them, to stop and interact with your stories, because again, the more that you get them involved, the more that they're going to want to stop again in the future to interact with your stories and get to know you better. Okay.
And just to add to that, we all know there's an Instagram algorithm. Instagram favors you if somebody is clicking and consuming your content and if you are keeping them on the app. So if that person is sitting there and taking 30 seconds to answer your question or to do your polls rather than just clicking through, you're keeping them on the app and they're telling the app that they like to see your content. So your content is pushed more to the left and pushed more to where they can click it super easily, and you're always at the front of their mind.
Okay, girls, this one is huge. So you want to make sure that you're using your own photos, okay? Again, it becomes your brand. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you authentic, right? So you want to make sure that you're showing your personality. So one of the flash sales that we had in March, my content, had half of my face in it and then had some products in it, right? So when people are clicking through, and we know that, on flash sale weekends or whatever the case may be, on big weekends of Monet where, the volume is high and everyone is posting, you want to make sure that you're standing out, right? That when people are clicking through, multiple Monet girls stories, they're like, oh, that one's Nella's because my face is on there, right? And then again, I'm keeping the wording very simple. My first slide and me telling the story, my beginning slide is check this out. So now people are like, okay, I'm invested. And then I have my middle story, and then I have my call of action at the end. Okay. Also, when you're using your own pictures, you are building credibility for yourself again. So I had, an event, I had a brunch before this quarantine with some of my girls. And now I can, use that as content for my community, showing us, going out together, showing us having a good time, me and my mentor at one of our events. Okay. So again, it's building FOMO around people because people love people. We are meant to be social. We are meant to interact with each other. Right. So everybody always wants to fit in somewhere, right? We want a community. So you want to build that FOMO that we have this amazing group of women, okay, that do support each other, that do lift us up. And then people are going to want to be a part of that. I promise you. This content goes way further than you posting, join my team, free Cadillac, great community, great people, right? Because you're showing them with visuals and you're showing them the proof, okay? Cool. I also wanted to add in some market partner content, right? So a lot of people, we do great, specifically this team, with, posting our hair, posting our skincare. We know how to do that, right? But sometimes we get lost when it comes to market partner content. And again, you want to stick to your branding. You want to stick to who you are and posting throughout the day of what you do. But you also want to make sure that you're targeting other people on your team, right? Shout out your team. People want to be a part of a team that's winning. And maybe, okay, for example, me, I am 25. I, started this business after I graduated college. I like to travel, whatever. But I know that I have people in my market that might be young moms, or I have people in my market that might be really into fitness, right? So instead of me just sticking to my brand, I want to, sprinkle in there people on my team that, I relate to. So if I do have, a stay-at-home mom that's looking at my stuff, well, now I'm going to shout out my, one of my business partners and friends, Lola, right? Because she is a young mom. She does do this from home. She gets to, spend time with her baby girl, growing her business and making an income, right? So you want to make sure that you are expanding your market and expanding your target audience to other people, because again, if a stay-at-home mom was looking at my content, maybe none of what I'm posting is relating to her, but now this post does. And she's like, oh, wait, this person's on Nella's team. Well, if she can do it, then I can do it too. Let me reach out to her. Okay.
And when you're doing this, you guys can think about the people that are already in your warm market or that you talk to about joining this business that are on the fence, and think about what they do and what situation they're in. Or maybe people, the objection, I don't have enough money. Maybe be like, sold some clothes on Poshmark to start this business. Now look at her, just quit her job. Like, you know what I mean? So use the pain point that they have or the objection that they have, and use your girls that are already successful in this business, or use your sister lines. So if you don't have a huge team under you, use your sister lines, reach out to them, see if you can give them a little shout out. I'm sure they're going to be completely supportive, and use your sister lines to shout out them so that other people are getting that other validation. They're not just getting that it works for you, they're getting that it works for this girl and this girl and this girl. If somebody's worried about having enough Instagram followers, obviously we all know it's not about your followers, but use an example of how somebody is so successful and she started this with a couple hundred followers, right? So use their pain points and their objections and the thing that they think they can't succeed, or what the reason why they think they can't do this business, and share somebody's story that you know that it has worked for them that can relate to that as well.
And we have a question. Somebody asked, when we're posting these contents, do you just post, shout out one girl, or do you do multiple? So again, you want to go back to, having a purpose of posting. So I'm not going to, be cooking and showing my lunch and then boom, shout out my girl Lola. And then, the next slide is me at the beach. Because what purpose did that have to do with me posting, shouting out my girl Lola? So again, you want to have a beginning. So maybe your intro slide is going to be like, wanted to shout out some of the amazing women on my team. Check out our diversity, right? Or a team of diverse women. And then people are like, oh, okay. Now, you post a couple of people, you show, a stay-at-home mom, a teacher, a 9-to-5er, right? And then again, you want to make sure that you're doing a call of action or an ending slide saying, we come from different parts of life, but we all are doing this together. Message me, you fit in. Something, something simple, something cool, but again, it tells a story, it has a purpose, it has a beginning, middle, and an end. Okay. And some more ideas for market partner content is you want to make sure that you're showing people the numbers, right? Again, you want to be a part of a winning team. People want to see you, oh, I want to join this team because look at their numbers. They're winning, they're succeeding, they're doing great. Okay. Numbers makes people, stand out, and blocks the skeptical wall, right? So people might be like, oh my God, I don't really know. I'm still not sure about trying Monat products, right? But when you're showing that we just had 20,000 new VIP customers in the last month, people are like, wait, I'm definitely missing out, right? They're having, fear of FOMO. So when you're showing people the numbers, again, it makes you more credible. It builds more trust in your audience. And it's showing them that, wow, look at us do it. If we can do it, you can do it too. Okay. Another idea that you can do is shout out your girls' promotions, right? Or maybe you don't have, that many promotions on your team yet, right? Do top sales, right? Shout somebody out for having the most market partner recruitment, or shout somebody out that, just went live and, came across their fear of, showing their face, right? But show the support that we have in this community for one another, and show that, you know what, my girl is killing it. And when I make sure that I'm shouting out my promotions, or I'm shouting out my girls, and I'm showing my community, I'm telling their stories. So for example, my girl Annalise, she is like killing it with PV every single month. So I shouted her out for top sales, right? But in her story, I make sure that I'm mentioning, wow, you can balance, moving into a new house, planning a wedding, working a 9 to 5, and you manage to still have top sales on my team. You rock it, girl, right? Because again, I'm making that relatable to somebody else that's watching this, saying, well, I'm also planning a wedding and I do have a lot on my plate and I do work a 9 to 5 too. Well, if she can do it, then I can do it too. Okay.
And just to add to this, I know before I joined, I've known high school, but I followed not just Sam's story. So way before I joined, I knew who her circle was. I knew who the girls on her team, who they were and who was winning. And I would look at their content too, because of things like this and because of her shouting people out. So people truly aren't just looking for validation that this works and how amazing this is from you. They're looking at other people that you work with and that they're tagging. So I love that you do this. And you can notice too how like all her stuff that she's shared so far too about her stories is also on brand for her, with that black and white and being super clean and classy. So it brings that brand awareness to her, which I love.
Thanks, babe. Okay, so now we're going back into what I mentioned at the beginning of the call, right? How do you get more people viewing your stuff, right? Post, 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 post. The more you post, the more people are going to see your things, okay? So I know, especially if you're new, especially if you haven't really gotten used to or your feet wet with social media, you might quote unquote feel like you're annoying people, or quote unquote feel like you're posting too much, right? Get that out of your head right now, right? Hurdle over that fear, because I promise you that the more you're sharing, again, the more that you're letting people into your life, the more trust that you're getting in, the more that people are getting to know you, and the more engaged followers you're going to have. Okay, so how does this work, right? Like I mentioned, you want to make sure that you're posting throughout the day. You don't want to just pick, okay, from 12 to 1, I'm going to post all of my content and then never show up on social media, for the rest of the day. That's not how it's going to work, because think about it this way. The second that you post at 12, the time is going by 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody that's posting at 1, 2, 3, 4 is pushing your content from 12 to the back of the line. Okay, so now at 1 o'clock, if you're reposting your content, your story goes back to the front of the line on Instagram story. Okay, so the more that you're posting, the more that you're going to be at the front of the line, and people are going to have to click on your things, right? At least for me, when I open up my app, I start at the front. I don't scroll and then start in the back or in the middle. You're starting in the front. So the more consistent that you're posting, the more that people are going to see your stuff. Okay. So here I put, you want to post around, every hour, every other hour. And you want to be posting your business content early in the day, which is what I mentioned at the beginning of this call. If you know that there's a flash sale, post the flash show early at 9, 10, 11 o'clock. I tell my girls, do not post about the flash show past 11, okay? Like, make sure that you are getting your content done at the beginning. Wake up early because you know that there's going to be a flash show, you know, this weekend or whatever the case may be. And we'll work on it together. That way the entire team has content up by 11 a.m. And then you can start posting throughout the day about your life, about your branding, about who you are, whatever the case may be. And more people are seeing that flash show content, okay?
Yeah, and just to add to that, when you've already posted about it, say at 9 a.m., you're gonna feel already accomplished. You're gonna go through and conquer your day. You're gonna get so many more sales by posting that early, because not only are people seeing your content, but you actually have time to fit them and match them for products and get them in before the sale ends, or talk to them throughout the weekend. You guys probably have lost sales, right? And I have too, from talking about it too last minute and not having enough time to close that sale. So people aren't just sitting there on their phone like ready to buy right away. They want to be matched. They want to hear why the product is good for them. So the earlier you're posting, the more time you're giving yourself, the more people are obviously going to see it, the more you're front of mind. So the more when they open their app, your name is going to be right there, and they're going to be able to click your feed, and it's almost like they expect it. A lot of my girls that I follow that are my favorite influencers, when they don't post a lot throughout the day and I don't see their content or I don't see their name in the first all the way to the left, right when I get on my app, I literally go to their feed and I'm like, where are they? Like, are they alive? Are they still posting? So definitely post more throughout your day, like she said, and the most important things first, so that you already feel accomplished and you already have an intention set for your day and for your business.
Oh wait, I think I was talking and I was muted. Okay, so now I put some quarantine ideas here for you, because I've noticed that, you know, we are stuck in the house and we probably feel like we don't have a lot of, you know, things to bring to the table, and our lives aren't that interesting, right? But however, we are not the only ones. The entire world is staying at home. The entire world is bored. The entire world is, you know, finding, you know, trying to find new things to do and a community to be a part of. Okay. So I feel like that is what you need to be leading with, is the community that we have here, right? Because people are, you know, lacking so being social with other people. Okay, so talk about our virtual opportunity that we have, the fact that we're making money from home. Talk about our community and how we do things on Zoom, right? Maybe do a happy hour with your girls and show that, you know, you're drinking together on Friday night, and that you're not missing, you know, a step during this quarantine time, that your bond is still super strong. Okay, and if you don't know yet, know today that our business and this company is the best, okay? And we are backed by the most amazing family, the most amazing people that, you know, truly have our back. You know, we were known, I guess we were stamped as an essential business. Okay, so we are not closing down, as opposed to so many others that are. So we, you know, we have this blessing at our hands. So you want to make sure that during this time you are leading with gratitude. Okay, don't lead with, you know, I guess showing people off in a way where it may come off as tacky. Okay, you want to make sure that you're leading with, you know, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Look at all of the amazing things that are, you know, this company is doing, right? We're starting to manufacture hand sanitizer. Like, that is so huge. We were just on the news, right? And this again is going to make people trust in Monat, trust in our brand, trust in our products and in our company, right? Because during a time of a world crisis and, you know, pandemic, that, you know, this company is coming together to do something special, to do something strong. You know, this isn't affecting us in any way. So, you know, join us. Our numbers are, you know, higher than ever, which is another, you know, misconception, is that people, you know, are ready to join this business, but they quote unquote think it's not the right time. Nobody's going to buy right now, right? Well, show them that they're completely wrong, right? During this time is when people want to focus on self-care more. People want to start a new, you know, business, a new hobby, whatever the case may be. They want to put time in to better themselves. So express that with other people and be like, I promise you that out of this quarantine, your hair is going to be, you know, 2 inches longer. Or I promise your skin is going to be more radiant or more glowing. Or after this quarantine, you could have made, $2,000, or you could have made 10 new friends. But express that with people, because I promise you right now, everybody's kind of feeling a little low. Everyone's kind of feeling a little bit confused. So be that light and be that positivity for them to be like, wow, like what this girl is talking about is really real, and I want to be a part of that.
And just to add, we already talked about having intention before you post, and like knowing why you're posting something, the reason behind it. Through this whole quarantine, like these are real people's lives, right? Like they're losing jobs, or they're getting laid off, or they're struggling, right? But when you come from a place of love and empathy, and like, I can help you, like I have the ticket that you need to get you out of the situation that you are in, and like I'm here to mentor you with that. Like people connect with that so much more than you like throwing fear at them, like lost your job, like, you know what I mean? So just make sure you have an intention of like, I know what you're going through. Like my best friend just went through the same thing, and this is what we're doing about it. We're not dwelling on what happened. Instead, she's going to do something about it, and she's going to use this time. And by the time her job opens back up, she might even have the option to not go back if she doesn't want to. So have an intention behind what you want to post, and obviously come at it with positive energy. If you're in a weird energy yourself, like I know it's hard for some of us to like wake up and snap into the best, positive, highest version of ourselves. I literally will have a dance party sometimes before I get on my stories. Like I will physically get up and change my physiology and be like, I'm a boss ass bitch, and like start dancing to myself before I get on my stories, so that when I get on, I am like showing up as the highest version of myself at a peak state. And I'm not like, hey guys, like, and people feel energy through this screen. So even your favorite influencers, you can feel when they're being like scammy or fake, or they don't really love a product, or they're just trying to make a quick buck. People can feel that energy. So they can also feel the energy of when you're coming from a really good place and you're positive and you want to just genuinely help them.
I love that. I say we all do dance parties before we go and post content. And then here we put some MLM stats, okay? So again, we want to make sure that we're educating people, because we live in a world of, skeptics, okay? So, prove them wrong. Give them the facts. Hardcore facts are what's going to make people, open up their minds and be like, well, maybe I am wrong, okay? So show them that, in this business, there is no cap. There is no limit to how much money we can make, right? If you are a hustler, if you want it, you got it, okay? We have low risk, high reward business. Show them, tips on direct selling of the direct selling industry. Again, show them the numbers. And the hair care industry and the skincare industry, what is projected to grow, so people can see themselves in this for the future, right? Because again, there is a misconception where this is a fad. This is, people are only going to be doing this for, because of the trend or whatever they say, whatever, right? But you want to make sure that you are, expressing the knowledge and the hardcore facts that, guess what? We are just getting started, right? This is, about to boom, right? Or, whatever objections that you're getting from people that, oh, it's saturated, oh, whatever, this is not the right time, post about it on your story, right? And how Jaylee was saying, if I'm matching somebody, that has, frizzy hair or whatever the case may be, and they're like stuck on not buying yet, guess what my content's going to be like in 30 minutes? Frizzy hair before and afters, the exact products that I just matched her with, I'm posting about on my story, because guess what? I know she's going to see it, and that might get her to close. Okay. Same thing with market partner content. And somebody's like a little bit iffy on, oh, I might not have the money, or I don't think this is the right thing for me. Guess what? My market partner's content is going to be in 30 minutes. It's going to be that, right? Because you're revalidating what you just said, but without directly impacting them, right? We're not directly, I guess, talking to them, because you're putting it on their story. So it's kind of like watering the seed without them even knowing it.
Yeah, and I think just to add, planting seeds is huge when you're in this business. Planting little seeds over time and watering them, like she said. It took 2 years. I don't know how long it took you, Nella, but it took me 2 years of seeing Sam's content to be like, shit, these girls are taking over. Like, if I'm not on the train, I'm going to regret this in 5 years, because they're not stopping anytime soon. So it took me 2 years to actually realize, like, holy crap, this is working. This is amazing. So maybe you don't get that sale, or maybe you don't get that specific dream team market partner that you want right off the bat or in your first few months. But put some patience on it. Like, give yourself grace, give yourself patience, and continue to water that seed, like she said, because I promise you that girl that you want is going to eventually be on this business.
Couldn't agree anymore. It took me 8 months, and the most regretful 8 months of my life. But some quick tips for you guys. I love that she was just saying to be patient. So I see my little team, popping into the comments saying that I always say that we're farmers, and it's so true. Okay. So you have to have patience when blossoming your flowers. Okay. You plant the seed, you water it, you fertilize. You plant the seed, you water it, you fertilize. Some are going to blossom quickly. Some are going to take a really long time, and some you might not even notice that they're growing, right? But I promise you, if you stay consistent, if you stay patient with it, you are going to have a beautiful garden at the end of this, okay? And the garden's going to keep on growing and growing and growing, okay? So picture yourself as a farmer, and don't lose hope in yourself because, I have been posting great content for the last month and I'm not really seeing any results, right? Who cares? Keep on doing it, right? Keep on doing it, keep on doing it, keep on doing it. Because imagine, Jaylee just said that it took her 2 years to join Sam, and it took me 8 months, right? So if you're just doing this for a month, 2 months, and you want to throw in the towel, guess what? Not long enough, okay? And it's never going to be long enough because Monat is going to continue to grow. So you want to make sure that if you haven't, pictured your branding yet, get that done today. Figure it out and start, dipping your feet into social media, because this is a free platform that we are touching hundreds and thousands of people, at the click of a button. Okay. So some quick tips for you guys. Show your face. I know that when I first, put my face onto the camera, or when I went live, I was sweating, so nervous. I didn't even know, I think I blacked out. I didn't even know my name at that point. But eventually you have to, rip the Band-Aid and just get it done. Okay. You have a team that's going to be supportive of you. Don't think about, what other people are thinking of you or their opinions. You're doing you, you're sticking to your story, you're sticking to your future, and this is the way that you're going to do it. Okay. Tell your story, begin, middle, and end, right? Always remember that you're posting with a purpose and posting with intention. Educate others on, direct sales, beauty company, why Monat, what the products do, why you like them, what they do for you. Okay. Know what value that you're bringing to the table. Always post with value. Okay. Keep it clean, keep it simple, keep it relatable, build that relationship with other people, make them like you, make them trust you. And I promise you that your business is going to flourish like no other.
Yeah, and one thing that Vic said on the call a few days ago, was she was just talking to her Instagram, and she was like, listen, if you thought you saw us and you thought that the shampoo girls were over, we're just getting started. So that's something that's huge. We really are just getting started. Our company is going to take over. It already is. You guys already see how we're changing the beauty industry, and we truly are just getting started. So people who think they've seen enough of us, tell them, our business is projected to grow. Our industry is projected to grow by this much. We gave you the numbers in earlier slides. We are projected to take over this industry in anti-aging, in skincare, in hair care. Share what we're doing for the community right now. So we all got an email about the hand sanitizers and about how we're donating hand sanitizers. Get on your story and talk about that. The more that you're involved and the more that you show up, the more that your followers and your audience is going to show up for you. So if you're not showing up in the way that an SED would show up, or in the way that your goal rank would show up, then show up as that person. You have to step into the rank that you want before you hit that rank. You can't just start with an MMP mindset and expect to hit MM, right? You have to step into the higher rank in the mindset of that person and put that hat on before you get there. So be consistent, show up on a consistent basis, sit down today and write down your brand pillars and what you want to be known for, what you're passionate about, and how you want to present your social media. I think that's the last slide, but do you want to do some questions, Nella?
Yeah, definitely. If you girls have any questions, pop them into the chat. But just remember, if you are not posting, okay, somebody else is. right? And that's a potential that you could have had. But since your door, I always tell my girls, your social media is your storefront, right? So you want to make sure that your store is open. Okay. So whenever you're posting, if you want your store to be open at 9 a.m., post at 9 a.m. because that's when you're opening your doors. Okay. And the more that you're posting, the more your doors are open. Okay. If you're not posting, your doors are closed. And guess what? People are walking past your store. Okay. So you want to make sure that your store is the one that people are walking into, and they're not going and joining somebody else, and they're not going and buying somebody else's product. Okay. So make sure that you are showing up for yourself, because I promise you, you will lose that person.
I love that. Okay, does anyone have any questions with social media? What is a good mixture of Monat feed, post content, and personal 5-pillar posts? I feel like, I've heard 80% life and your lifestyle and your brand pillars, and then 20% Monat. I think you just have to get into a flow. So I don't think there's like a specific percentage, or there's like a specific thing I could tell you, like every 6 posts, post a hair tutorial or post a hair tip or post what this business is doing. I think you just have to recycle the 5 pillars of what your brand is. Maybe on Monday you do being a mom. Maybe on Tuesday you do, what this business has done for you or the community. Talk about something different though every time you talk about the business. So don't always talk about the community, right? Talk about the vision. So if you haven't hit that rate, talk about the vision and cast the vision onto your people, inspire them with what you're going to do. So I don't think there's like a specific formula for that. I feel like it just has to flow. Do you agree, Nella? I think you're muted.
Yeah, I am. Okay, so if you are new, okay, it's very, very, very important, and we probably should have talked about this at the beginning of the call, but you want to make sure that you're building curiosity, right? Curiosity marketing and attraction marketing at the beginning, right? So you don't want to be blasting the word Monat everywhere. You don't want to be, your content is you going like this in your shower with all of your Monat products. Like that does absolutely nothing. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're keeping that curiosity built. And one of the questions is, do you think that it's too much to post business and products on the same day? Personally, if you're starting, the first month or so, or 2 months, yes, I think it's too much. Because you're still trying to find, what your brand is, how you're going to implement this business and these products into your life, right? But for example, the way that I do it, I don't even care anymore, right? Because people know what I do. I'm so passionate about it. I've told my story. I've already built that, authenticity and that, branding for myself. But, again, you don't have to be so upfront and salesy with it, right? So, for example, if I want to be posting product content, right? I'm going to wake up in the morning, wash my face, show them that I'm using Monat skincare, and maybe post, a little something on there, right? It's not saying, oh, buy skincare from me. It's, I can save you 45% off right now. It's not in their face. And then the next slide, I'm going to be like, join my team. We just did a social media training call. Look at all these people. It doesn't have to be so like, brutal, I guess you can say. So you're just posting what you're doing on your daily life, and again, you're watering that seed without people even noticing. Does that make sense?
I love that. I'm just reading some of the questions. What are some tips to start posting since I just started? Go back and watch this whole call. We gave you guys so many tips, but also just get out there and start creating content. Create. Do what you got to do to feel your most confident self. I know I feel confident when I put self tanner on. So if I'm creating content tomorrow, I'm going to put self tanner on, and I'm going to create multiple content. I'm going to put on multiple outfits. We're in quarantine right now, but like go out if there's somewhere like a park nearby or somewhere that's still open. Take your husband or take your friend or take a family member that's with you and have them take content of you in multiple outfits. And then something that I do for actual captions is like, I feel like at night I get my really like hot ideas. I feel inspired the most at nighttime, even if I'm like laying on my bed about to go to sleep. So I will get on my notes and write out my thoughts, and then I'll just go in when I want to post and expand on this stuff, talk a little bit more about, that specific thing. So, or if I'm listening to a podcast and inspired by what I'm hearing, I'll just take that and make it my own. I think the best tip that I can give you is to just do it. Do it messy. The first time you post something, it's not going to be your best. The first time you You get on your stories, it's not going to be the best. This is my first Zoom call with this many people, and probably wasn't as good as it would be my 10 Zoom calls down the road, but you just have to show up and do it messy and just start. Get that first initial, get that first story up, and then it's going to start to flow, and it's going to start to come a lot more natural to you. Get a tripod, people are saying.
I love that, because when I started, I swear my content was so cringy. But again, we have to start somewhere. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, but don't make the same mistake twice. Okay. So, again, get an accountability buddy or somebody that, you know, is going to tell you the truth and be like, hey, what do you think about my content? And accept, you know, criticism. Accept constructive criticism where somebody can say, well, you know, maybe next time I would put the font more towards the middle, or maybe next time I feel like you can do this better, right? And that's how we're all going to grow together, and that's how we're all going to learn together. Okay. So don't be afraid to make mistakes and ask for, you know, help. I know that our team, Sam, has, especially for girls starting at the beginning, a week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 of social media content ideas for you guys to post. Ask your upline for that. Everybody should be having these system and resources for you guys to utilize. And it makes it easier for you guys to start. Somebody asked, you know, how do I build curiosity at the beginning? Okay, so for example, instead of, you know, I know that in every product pack you get the split end mender, right? So when I started, I had breakage and crazy split ends. Instead of me, you know, waving around the split end mender on the screen, all I did was, you know, touch my hair and be like, wow, I can't believe my men's just, you know, my ends just mended in 60 seconds with this new cream. And people are like, what new cream? Okay, 60 seconds. Like, they're gonna look at their hair and be like, well, I have split ends and I want my, you know, ends mended in 60 seconds, right? So that's kind of, and I didn't even show the product on my screen, right? So now I have people reaching out to me in my DMs asking questions, and I'm like, ding, 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 writing your name down on my potentials list because I know that you're interested. Okay, so those are kind of like some ideas that you can do, but definitely ask your uplines about some different ideas. But it all goes back down to your brand. Find your brand and post about that, because again, you don't want to be all about money.
Yeah, and somebody was asking about, they thought that the stories and feed were based off of interaction algorithms rather than timeline based. So your stories are kind of a mixture of both, but your stories are very timeline sensitive. Like, if you're posting more, it's going to show up more, and it's going to get people who don't normally interact with you to see your content. Your feed is based off of, but it is based off of engagement a lot of the time. So just like we talked about having a call to action, at the end of my captions, I'm always asking my people to interact with me through some sort of call to action. So whether you're asking them to comment, or you're asking their opinion, or you're just getting them involved in some way so that they're commenting on your post. Go and ask your team though to comment on your stuff, like, or ask, you know, one of the group chats that you're in to go comment on your photo real quick and hype you up. So right when you comment, Instagram sees you're getting incredible engagement, and your content is going to be pushed to the top of people's feed because of that.
Anything else?
Let's see. I'll just, maybe one more question. Let's see where. The week-to-week calendar of what to post for the first month is in one of the Facebook groups. There's a document. So I would just ask your upline for them to tag you in that. And then there's an app called Planoly if you want to plan out your feed and organize your feed and just make sure that all your stuff is like good to go if you're a planner.
Yeah, the one that I use is called Preview. There's a bunch of them. And then that way you can, again, go back to the apps that we were talking about on this call, go to Tezza, pick a filter, and then you can plan your post and it look organized, right? Because that makes your page look aesthetically pleasing. And again, it's going to tailor around those brand pillars.
Perfect. Okay, I feel like we pretty much hit on everything.
Yeah,
Thank you guys. Thanks, Nella.
Thanks, Jaylee. This was so much fun. I hope we can do more calls together.
Me too. I love this. Thank you, Sam.
Guys, that was so freaking good.
Thanks, babe. Love you.
You guys killed it.
Yay! I'm happy we did this.
I'll send you the recording, okay?
Okay, awesome.
Sounds good. Thank you, ladies.
Have a good one.
Go create.
Bye, babe.